Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of February 2015, General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, we have really right out of the gate, in the very first days of the month, a full moon taking place in a part of the sky that really is your domain. In fact, astrologers call it your house. It is your house in the sky, and it has to do with all those things that you oversee and all those things that you like about yourself best. It has to do with vision, with truth, understanding that truth is largely relative. It has to do with travel, with exploration, with learning, and with expanding your reach and expanding your mind and expanding your experiences as well. Expanding your philosophical understanding of the world and deciding for yourself what it is that you really believe. And it is these very areas of life, this very process, that is going to open up a lot of blessings to you. Now, I would encourage you to watch the Jupiter specials that I recorded earlier in 2014, because this particular full moon is happening with Jupiter in the sky, very close to Jupiter, and also speaking in supreme harmony with Uranus. And so when I see this happening, it really represents a very fortunate activation moment where the energy of Jupiter becomes that much more highlighted, and the opportunity to bring in, quite by surprise, bring in blessings, bring in the best that Jupiter promises. The opportunity to experience that can come seemingly out of nowhere. But this is a full moon. And with full moons, the thing is that they usually represent a truth, they represent fruition, they represent culmination, usually that feels like it has been a long time coming. If you are a person who is involved in some sort of program of higher education, this is going to represent an important turning point for you, a very positive one at that. If you are somebody who is wanting to travel, interested in that, just the place that you should go to will become abundantly clear to you. And if you are somebody who has been trying to figure out ways to share more of yourself in bigger ways, to put yourself out there in bigger ways as well, this is going to be a time when the universe is going to grant you just that opportunity. What this really comes down to is bringing forward the best of you. As I said, the things that you like in yourself most are very likely to come forward now, and come forward with a certain ease, and the opportunity to share more of who you are likely to come forward now as well. In fact, if there is anything that you desire to teach and to share, as I said, in a bigger way than you have before, this month very well may grant you just that opportunity to do so. Once we get into the later part of the month, what I really like about what's taking place is a second rare new moon happening in the same part of the sky that it did last month. So last month we had the first of two new moons. Now normally we get one new moon per sign per year. This year a little different. We had a new moon happening in the part of the sky for you that has to do with siblings and cousins and neighbors. It has to do with communication and perception, and seeing a thing differently than you did before. And it also has to do with agreements, communications, and connections. So you consider the fact that we've also had Mercury going retrograde in this part of the sky. We'll be retrograde as we start the month, and then we'll go direct right around the 10th before the second new moon takes place. I put all this together, and it suggests to me that a conversation, a communication that started last month, that maybe you let go, maybe you dropped it, maybe you decided it wasn't worth pursuing. You thought, okay, let's just put that to the side. Now you will get your final answers. Things will become clear, and you will understand where it is that you are now ready to go in a definitive direction. Where it is that maybe you felt you had a start, but it turned out to be sort of a half start at that. This month there will be that clarity, there will be that purpose, there will be enough direction to decide what it is that you are going to begin again. And it really is going to be begin again from last month. It isn't necessarily that you're beginning again from this time last year, but really what opportunity came up and seemed to slip away, what conversation started, seem to have not ended, what you sort of said, okay, fine, whatever, now you are going to realize that no, you do need to understand more deeply. You are ready to seize a moment, and that the moments actually are a lot more abundant than you realized. This can also represent a time when you might have thought before that whether it was a neighbor, or sibling, or cousin, depending on your personal circumstances, if one of these types of people or all of these kinds of people were asking for your attention, this is going to be a time when maybe if you thought you had dealt with that, well, maybe no, you didn't. Part of that connection, that conversation needs to continue. And now we'll come to resolution. Any plans that were made that seem to be dropped, now you'll be able to pick them up again with greater understanding of what it entails. You'll be able to make a decision and decide on your best course forward. One thing that I absolutely love about this month for you is that it is about the best of you coming forward, you understanding who you are, what is true for you, and figuring out ways to express that, to communicate that to others, especially the people closest to you and the people around you. With that understanding of how to say who you are, you will find yourself much more easily able to truly live a version of yourself that you do like very much.